Hi friends, and welcome to a video where we are going to be talking about habits of a successful mum. So there's lots and lots that I want to say about this, so I can't wait to do so. But before we get stuck in, I am Alina Ghost. If you're new here, I do loads of daily mum shorts which are super fun and funny. Basically, if you wanted to join the community, I also do 2 long form videos a week as well on YouTube, so I'd love to have you with us. But basically, I have a 3-year-old boy who is coming up to 4 years old. I am specifically a working mum who's been doing this for nearly 4 years, and basically everything that I share here are things that have helped me, tips and tricks, and basically habits that I do day to day, especially when I've got so many people, especially friends and family, who are asking me, how do I get it all done? Especially because I'm a mum, because I'm working. Yeah, I'm still on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, and I also work freelance for digital marketing. Basically, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and let's get straight into it. Basically, tip number 1, and that's something that I do every year. I've mentioned this before, especially on my video around setting goals and things like that, but that's exactly it. It's about setting goals for the year. Without it, I'd be lost. I wouldn't know what I need to get done, what I need to prioritize, because at the end of it, I wouldn't know where I'd end up. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm in the right place, maybe I'm not. And then basically, psychologically, I'd be confused. And basically I wouldn't know where to put my time, where to prioritize. So what I'm saying is set yourself a goal. And what I want to do is recommend that you make sure that it's realistic. So you don't want to be like setting yourself a goal of, I want to be a millionaire by the end of this year. You know, you want to make sure that they're realistic goals and that you can break them down once you know these goals. Because when you know where you are going, you can then break it down and understand how you can get there. So that's awesome. You can also realize once you've broken it down whether you can push that goal a little bit further. So this could be anything like basically learning a language. This could be getting a new job. Basically, in point number 1, what you're trying to achieve is no more wasted time, because you are honing in onto what you want to achieve for the year. Next thing I want to talk is about priorities. I've already mentioned that in the settings of goals, but once you know your goal, you can then prioritize. Something for me that's always been a priority, no matter whether it's been a goal or not, is the fact that my son needs me, because my priority is my son. It'll always be priority number 1 over work, over things like cleaning and household chores, basically. So he will always be my priority. So to give you an example, yesterday I had meetings, yesterday I had things to do. However, he's not been feeling well, and what he said is basically, Mummy, I'm tired. He didn't want to eat, he didn't even want to watch his iPad. So basically we cuddled up on the sofa and had a nice nap. Priorities help you guys understand where you want to push some things, because there are things that are going to take a back step. There are things that there's always going to be leeway towards something. And basically, when you understand your priorities and where you are willing to give something up or not, then you know exactly what you can do and how you're going to basically proceed with that in order to basically make some time then to achieve your goals, depending on where your priorities lie. Number 3 is gratitude. So this one is basically, success means different to different people. You could be a successful mum because you're working and you're earning a good amount of money. You could be a successful mum because you're homeschooling and you are a stay-at-home mum and you're doing all these things around the house. So it just depends what success means for you, but gratitude can be basically practiced no matter what kind of mum you are, no matter what success you are looking for. So for example, I am so thankful that we have a roof over our heads. We are living in a very well-to-do location. We basically have our health, touch wood, that we have food in our bellies. We are lucky enough to have lots of forests and parks around us as well, where we walk our dogs. So every day I'm so thankful for this, and I remind myself, no matter where I want to be at the end of the year, no matter what goal I have at the end of the year, I will always be grateful for what I have now, because if I don't achieve that at the end of the year, yes, it might be a little bit sad, but at the same time, I'm still grateful for what I have and I am at peace. Once you find that peace, you will then be able to grow. You will then be able to go further to hit your goals. The next 3 habits, I could probably put them together in a line, and that is basically prioritizing sleep, waking up early, and also exercise. So those 3 things I know, and I've spoken to so many mums. I've also watched loads of mums on YouTube, and basically I can tell you that these 3 things are phenomenal in order to get you to be yourself. Be happy, be healthy. There's even a TikTok going around which is like, oh, I don't feel very well. Oh, have you drank enough water? No. Have you exercised? No. Did you sleep enough? No. All right, well, I wonder why you're not feeling well then. You know, so physically and mentally, you need to feel happy in yourself in order to be a successful mum. Therefore, those 3 habits are non-negotiables for me. Every single day, I need to make sure that I am exercising. So that's either walking the dog or going on my bike. Sleep is a phenomenal one for me. So I know that if I go to bed too late and I wake up early, which I always wake up early because I'm just an early bird. I also like to wake up before my son so that I can get a few things done, shower, you know, that kind of stuff. And basically, I know that I will be grouchy, and I like a lot of sleep. So I go to bed at 10 and wake up earliest like 6 a.m. you know, so that's a lot of sleep. That's 8 hours minimum, and I know that that's what I need in order to feel good, to be myself, and to basically be able to be patient enough to be a good mum as well. My next habit that I would recommend for anybody is basically to grow and learn new things every single time. So if you're putting a goal together, have a think of whether you can actually put something together that means that you will learn something new, that you're constantly growing, that you're constantly learning. Actually, habits of successful people, not just mums, always has this element of growth and learning, where you're constantly learning something new, where you're pushing yourself, when you're challenging yourself. And basically the way you grow and challenge yourself anyway is if you've got that motivation, and usually that motivation comes from that goal. So if you set your goal there, you're like, all right, I need to be this, that and that. So whether we're talking about weight, or whether we're talking about a new job, or whether we're basically talking about the numbers. So for me, I mean numbers in terms of like social media platforms. I'm very much a starting out micro influencer on social media and YouTube, and I know it. I'm tiny, I'm small compared to those people who have like millions of followers, but at the same time I also want to see some growth, so I put some numbers together for seeing that growth at the end of the year. So I'm hoping to hit some targets, and therefore that drives me to do this content for you every single week. So 2 long form videos, to do every single day a mum short for you guys, knowing that you guys enjoy it and love it and engage with it. And that's exactly what I want to see on my channel. So at the same time, when we're talking about growth and learning, I'm growing and learning every single day. So for example, it's a super great day today out there. It's raining, it's horrible, it's cold, and basically I've put my light up. I've not used a camera light for at least 6 or 7 years because I've not been blogging for that long. So for me, growth and learning is the fact that I'm learning how to use this new camera light again, because it's huge, it's big. I've even forgotten how to put it together, and I managed to find a light bulb for it miraculously. So yeah, basically keep learning guys, keep growing, because without that you can't be a successful person. Next habit is about organization and planning ahead. Let's not beat about the bush. Each time you've spoken to another mum and they're like, oh yeah, I've food prepped for the next week, or I'm completely organized, I've got, let's say, all the Christmas things ready, like Christmas gifts and wraps and everything, they were wrapped and done by October. So yes, of course I'm exaggerating, but at the same time, we know, we've had friends or people that we know where we're like, oh my goodness, you're so organized, you're so well planned. And we definitely want to do some of that as well, don't we? So because we know that that keeps stress down low, We don't want to be anxious, and therefore we want to continue to be organized. And when you're organized, you can have like things like healthy meals. You can be better with money because you're frugal and you understand, like, you can purchase some things on discount because you're thinking ahead and you're constantly planning. And that's something that mums do every day anyway. But take it to the next level. Why don't you get an organization or planner, like app or a planner of some sort? Like, I've used things previously, like Trello boards. I've used loads of like reminders on my phone, and that's probably something that I've stuck to. There's calendars. There's basically loads, or like physical things that you can buy. You can buy those like to-do lists that you could put on your fridge and start writing on those. So it's completely up to you how you do it. But one of the great habits of being a successful mum, and not just food wise, but also thinking ahead about like half terms coming up, or things that are coming up during the term. So for example, World Book Day coming up soon, even like Pancake Day next week. I had to plan ahead to know what kind of ingredients I need to put into our Tesco shop. So things like that. Another great habit is delegation. So why don't you think about it as if you're working? So imagine you're a manager, you're delegating your work, and why can't it be similar here? Like, a lot of the time the family members just don't even like realize that they might need to help you. So it's about you asking them to help you. And once it becomes a habit, once a week or so, you know, like you're constantly saying, okay, well, this is your job, or like this is something that you do, it then becomes a habit. But it means like it's lots of different habits for different parts of the family, so basically different members of the family. So for example, my husband always does the kitchen cleaning and sorting at the end of the day, which I find so helpful. And then I, for example, take out the dishwasher, like all the clean bits, and sort that out. So things like that. So it's about working together. And when my son gets old enough, he's already started like helping me with cleaning because he really enjoys this stuff. But once he gets old enough, I'm sure he'll have some chores of his own as well. Okay, this next habit is more of like a mindfulness around the imperfect. So be okay with things that are undone. And as a mum, you probably know that it's unrealistic to expect things to be perfect, and basically it will be undone a lot. And you need to be okay with that. You need to figure out how you can be okay with that, because that will mean less stress for you. Let's face it, guys, and I don't mean to get morbid, but the more stress you have, the less life expectancy you have. So let that sink in. If you want to like look after your health now, you don't want to worry about yourself in the later days, you need to start thinking about how you manage your stress now. And being okay with undone is okay. If it's like, if there's something dirty, it's okay. It'll have to wait, because you have a priority list. You have things that you need to do, and you need to stick by those priorities. The next habit is about having routines. I guess habit and routine are very similar, but when I talk about the routine, I mean like something that you constantly do every week. I've shared this on my YouTube channel recently, and that was around housework routine for working mums specifically. So it's about like making sure that you know something's happening like once a week. There's always bin day, you know, like when you get into a routine, you always know that a specific day is something that's going to happen that you need to do, you know, like cleaning the bathroom. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say here is like a routine is a good habit to get into, because you can manage those expectations, your own expectations, your family members' expectations, and everybody is always in the know about it. And then once you get into that routine, it's a lot easier to stick to it. And something that I say a lot is the fact that once you skip one thing that you haven't done in the routine, so for example, you go and exercise every single day, you skip one, make sure you don't skip it twice, because it gets easier and easier and easier to just drop it and not think about it. So in my books, I always say, okay, if I've dropped it once, if like for example, I've ruined the routine once, Don't ever do it twice. Another habit is about setting systems, and setting systems that not only you can follow but the whole family. And I'll give you 2 examples. One of them super easy and quick, and that is basically once we have a shower, we know that we use the squeegee to just get rid of any droplets on the glass, just to basically clean it up a bit and maintain it that way. And once we set a system of doing that, our son started doing that as well, even though he's 3 years old. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a system that means less overall cleaning for me, which I'm very grateful for. So second example is the dishwasher. So I made loads of jokes about my husband putting in like the dishwasher in a specific way. And then one time he started to even do like the cutlery together. I think his mum does that. And basically we figured out that actually if he does that, it's a lot easier for me to then take those when they're clean and put them in the cutlery drawer. I love that. And basically for me, it's super easy, but it's a system that everybody can follow that then makes life a lot easier in the long run. So basically set up systems that where you can around the house so that everybody can follow them and make everybody's life a lot easier. Last but not least, and this habit is about self-care. Self-care is super important. So as I've mentioned around like exercising and sleep and everything, self-care is probably just as important. So here, do one thing a day that pleases you. So whether you have like a little bit of a snack, like a chocolate that makes you happy, or like for me, I love my coffee in the morning and that's like a treat. Self-care could be anything for anybody. So it could be like doing your nails, or maybe like even washing your hair. I know as a mum, you don't get a lot of like me time. So don't be afraid to ask for help. If you want somebody to look after the kids, don't be afraid to ask your partner, you know, like take them for a bit. I'm just gonna like do my self-care bits. You know, I don't know, even putting body lotion can sometimes be, you know, self-care. It is for me, and I absolutely love it. Or if you need like a night off, make sure that you can get like some babysitting, and it's okay to need that time away from the kids, because once you have and you've done that self-care, you can then come back to your family, be the best mum that you can, because everybody needs some time for themselves. And that's one of the things that mums lack, is basically alone time. So it's okay to need self-care. Yes, self-care is a lot easier when it comes to basically your kid growing up, and then therefore you can have a little bit more time to yourself, like to read more books, or basically I love cross-stitching, for example, that I've been doing recently as well. So it's about understanding where you can pick and choose some things, or even schedule in. So talking about that organization and planner side of things, you can schedule in self-care. So for example, a date night here and there, to make sure that you also have some time with your partner again, without the kids, because ultimately you're 2 people who were together before they even came along, you know? So that's also important. Have a think about those, and I hope that it all makes sense. So those were the habits that I believe make a successful mum, and I hope that you like them. If you have anything that you could add to this conversation, I'd love for you to comment down below and let me know what you think. Basically, I really hope that this conversation really helps you guys out, and I hope that you make some really good habits in 2024. Thanks so much for watching, and until the next one, bye.